Off Market, the show where we shoot the shiz about all things property related in Perth. Today we've got unlucky number episode 13. So you ready?
Lucky. Yeah, no.
We're going to make it lucky.
Yeah.
Top floor of an apartment.
Top floor of the apartment. We've got
Floor
Brad
33.
Triplett, so it's got to be a lucky day.
That's it.
Yeah.
So as usual, welcome back to our Golden Gavel Ross Hunter. And
Golden Gavel.
and
Have
our-
Gavel will travel.
Have Gavel. And our Golden Gosnells, Shane Beaumont.
Well, I don't get there as much as I'd like these days. I'm a bit all over the place, but going all right.
That's all right. That's all right. So as the boys mentioned, we are here, level 33 of the incredible Vue Tower, thanks to Finbar. And earlier, before the boys arrived, I got Cherry Lee from Real Estate 88 to show me around. We're going to quickly have a look. So Cherry, we're up here at the incredible level 33 at Vue Tower with some beautiful views. Tell me, when was the project finished?
Vue Tower by Finbar was completed in 2019. We still have a limited selection of apartments available for sale, with one bedroom starting from 390,000 and a two bedroom starting from 500,000. The fantastic entry-level pricing welcomes a range of buyers to enjoy the inner city lifestyle.
So Cherry, tell us about Vue Tower. What makes this development so different from all of the other stock that's selling in the city at the moment?
Vue Tower enjoys a fantastic inner city position, close to a range of the new planned inner city projects. You can enjoy the views of Swan River, Perth City, Birdswood, Optus Stadium and Matagara Ridge.
And what can buyers expect from a Finbar product?
Buyers always know Finbar are famous delivering quality apartments with modern design finishes, many green features to ensure lower energy costs. And Finbar always ensure the apartment livability is maximized with living open spaces, large balconies, lots of natural light, and excellent resort-style facilities. And also always in the most sought after inner city locations.
Well, Cherry Lee from Real Estate 88, thank you so much for your time. The wind is picking up out here, so we're going to head back inside and enjoy the Sky Lounge.
Let's go.
Such an incredible spot right in the heart of the city. We've brought the views again, guys, for you today.
It's getting better and better, isn't it?
I know. There are still a couple of apartments available here, so if you do want some more information, get in touch with the team at Real Estate 88. We're straight into Under the Hammer.
Just one thing, you can park on Plain Street and you have a 3-hour window to do that.
3 hours till 4:15, mate.
Actually didn't say, I think it's from 8 till 6, but 3 hours. So
The
there is
tow
still
trucks
parking
start
in-
to circle, you know that.
Yeah, mate, they are, I could see them on the horizon. But
We thought you were going to get towed, but it
like
wasn't
vultures,
to be.
they just
They
ready to
are,
go.
they, mate.
Ready to go.
Round they go. Sorry. Okay,
Got lucky.
Jess.
Anyway,
Back to
Under
you,
the
Jess.
Hammer, Roscoe.
Yeah, Under the Hammer. Yeah, it's a really interesting space, Jess. As I mentioned the other week, you know, it's it is the best auction market I've seen in all my years back in WA. And yet the auctions are a low ebb. Now, there's a couple of reasons for it. The auctions that are being booked are selling prior to and with unbelievable prices. Like, remember the other week we mentioned Julie Fairclough from Real Market in Dunsborough had that property that hit the Fin review, got a great result. Well, you know, give Julie another shout out because she's doing a great job. She had an auction booked with me for a couple of weeks down near Eagle Bay. I can't quite remember it was an unusual name.
You're spewing, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, mate, I am. And there's a beautiful property, absolutely magnificent, and within a week it was gone.
Can I ask, for non-auction agents or for sellers who are thinking about auctioning, you've got obviously your the starting price.
Yeah.
And then...
Or potentially no price.
Or potentially no price.
Yeah.
But at what point is the price you're being offered good enough to say, well, we're not going to take it to auction?
Look, I guess there's no exact science around that, Jess, but I often say to people, if they ask my advice, to say, try and simulate the auction thing. Say, if this was the auction right now and this was the highest bid, how would you feel? And if you feel as though this was the auction, that was the highest bid, and you go, wow, that's an amazing result, then there's your answer. But if you have to go, oh, I'm not sure, you got to think about it, then there's also your answer. So I find that's a really sort of clear-cut way to try and put yourself in that position to say whether you should or you shouldn't do it. If it's a no-brainer, you know, at the end of the day, it is what it is. But we are definitely, you know, there's a lot of pressure on the market. So there's a lot of people wanting to. We're in a buy versus buyer market, so the buyers are competing, and that's where the market's at. It's frustrating for me because I go, oh my God, how
And
good.
a weekend down south.
Yeah, exactly. Dan's right, it all lined up. Thanks, Julie. But at the end of the day, you don't play God with somebody else's money.
One thing, it's a really good question you raised there, because people go, what's the point of going to auction if it potentially doesn't go to auction? It's still that process which we've spoken about. But one thing you'll find, if you've got a property that the buyers are emotionally in love with, there's a different price that data can't factor in. And the best way to describe that to a lot of my owners who watch the block, and everything sells on the block for record prices, but the best way I could describe it is if you had a ball coming up in 2 weeks' time and you saw a pair of shoes, you must buy them because you have a ball or a wedding.
For me, it would be the Friday night before,
You would.
yes.
So, because you're an emotional buyer. So you can't wait for them to go on sale.
Yeah.
You have to buy them that price because you've got a function. Best way to describe it is if you like those shoes, but you've got nothing coming up, you're in lockdown, but they'd be nice to wear later, well, there's a different price for you. Which buyer we're chasing? Clearly an emotional buyer. So you can't find that data and honestly look them in the eye and say, this is the max it's going to go, because you haven't been in the position of that buyer that's missed out on 4 or 5 properties, been outbid, put offers in and missed out again. The kid's starting school in X amount of weeks. So we can't really say that this is the maximum price. So by having such a transparent, I guess, method of doing it, at least you can say, well, if there was someone there, they would have been there on the day.
Yeah.
And is there a factor of, well, if this buyer's willing to pay enough to take it off the market, then
because you're paying it like
you're paying a premium.
Extending on from what Shane said, like a lot of properties are sold at what we call an emotional value. People connect with the property from an emotional perspective, and that's where value is ascertained. When we take people through a competitive environment, we take them through a couple of other phases, which is a bit of ego. Certainly in an auction where you see a bit of ego, I win, you lose, a bit of a face-off type thing. It does happen. But then where we see a property sold for a particular price, we go, wow, that sold for that. It's because of fear of loss. The auction's the perfect place to stipulate that, because we go, the property's going to be sold, first call, second call, somebody else bids, and we go from there. What Shane's saying, which is true, is that process is being simulated insofar as you've got people going, I've seen properties, I've missed out on a few, etc., and they engage with this property from an emotional point of view. However, to take the property out of the market, they're paying a premium to actually remove competition. That's what they're doing, which is a fear of loss. So it goes to that level.
The two or three of the properties I sold this week both went first viewing as such, but it wasn't how long that property had been on the market. That buyer had missed out on 2 or 3, and they had the battle scars to go, well, one, every agent says they've got interest. So when you say there is other offers and you clearly present them, sometimes they still don't believe you. But to actually miss out, and then they go, look, I know now, I stuffed around, my mum told me that it's a buyer's market, clearly it's not. And they come to that, I guess, price they need to take it off the market, but sometimes they need to go through that process of loss before they realise.
And I assume more and more of them will do.
Definitely,
at the moment, it's going to happen more and more. So,
Very
quickly, under the hammer sales results, we wanted to talk about the happiness report that's come out this week from Rate My Agent, which we did cover in February when the Q1 results came out. So we've got Q2. We're slightly happier in WA.
So, the hard thing is with this, and obviously I was interviewed on this interview, when you look at how they break it down, obviously it's in shires as opposed to suburbs. But a couple of there definitely stand out. They're doing quite well. Interesting, the Mandurah one. Mandurah's obviously, the Peel region. You can really break that down to so many sections. So I guess overall, when we look back when we had our last, report and happiness.
Just to tell people, it's the satisfaction level of the seller after the sale of the outcome.
Not of the agent, but of the actual, figure. And I think it's fair to say when COVID hit, we thought, when ScoMo stood up and said, look, it's locked down for 6 months, people basically shut themselves. But we've bounced back really well, and I think you could even confirm, Brad, stock levels, that's the driver. Like, for the first time in a while, there hasn't been oversupply in Perth. And you can actually say to someone, look, guys, yes, that one did go for that, but this one's here and that one's gone, knowing that there might not be another one for a bit. Whereas for a while there, it was sort of, especially with apartments or villas or new developments, if you missed out on one, it sort of felt like, well, I'll just wait for the next one. But it has tightened up. Would you agree?
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, we never thought apartments would drop in supply, but they certainly have.
Yeah.
You talk to every agent around town, and every market you're in, seems like the supply's dropped, but I think the apartment market's probably the one that has probably come last, and it's good to see the numbers drop.
And I think on that, it's probably because we were expecting it to be pretty tough for some time. Over the last couple of years, some of those sites just haven't gone to ground. The construction wasn't happening. So I guess 2 years back is probably an indication of where we're at now, because they probably weren't confident where the market would be. But there is definitely across the board an undersupply.
What's the general, obviously we're in a very strange time right now with COVID, but you guys have been in the market for a long time, selling real estate for a long time. What's the general period where sellers start to go, well, stock's dropping and buyers are coming into the market, and so I'm going to hold out this amount of time until prices start to rise? Is there like a, you know?
I think at the moment, it is, again, I've spoken about this before, but if you took the negative equity out of the market, it would be the hottest market in Australia by far. I reckon it'd be the same conditions as what we went through in 2006, 2008, because we're back below those levels in stock. But so many people, and again, ask Brad, like you've seen that negative equity, people want to move, but they can't. Like they tried to sell today, they're like, well, I still owe more.
I still owe.
Take that out of the market and you've got it's a frenzy. It really is, because those new buyers coming in are all over it, but they're not hamstrung by what they've purchased before. So I think at the moment, and I've seen a lot of people say, actually got a letter drop from your company in my letterbox this morning saying that
You got a
lowest
list?
stock since 2014.
Yeah, it's true.
It is. Unfortunately, I think the selling conditions are as hot as 2014.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the price isn't there.
Okay, we'll get there.
We'll catch up, but also just to add to that, there's also the thing too where people will want to sell, but they will also hold off in the fear they can't replace it, or they can't find something.
Where do I go?
You know, if I sell, great, I'll get a premium. Where do I go? So it is a bit of a perfect storm in some ways.
And rental vacancies, what did you say they are now? 1.8?
1.6.
Lowest since 2008?
Yeah.
And we're averaging around 9, I think it was 9 calls a week from people, not before everyone thought of people moving back. But I had a call from someone the other day who's actually an agent who's been employed as a buyer's rep. He's going to come over when lockdown's over. Fingers crossed, not far, but depending which way you look at it. And he's actually moving 5 families over here. He's been employed to get them into schools and get them basically in good areas, multicultural areas, what they've rested. So that's going to be pretty amazing. They're not expats. They're like people going, I see a bright future in WA. Yeah. Have you had much of that?
I had a call last week from someone in Melbourne just asking, can I get there?
Yep.
So I don't know, but obviously they're thinking about it.
Yeah.
That could become a cottage industry. Like, how do you get me to Perth? What's the quickest, easiest way
By
to get
boat
me to
at the
Perth?
moment.
Yes, it's like the
Sea
Mexican.
container.
We need the Mexican drug
Sea
lords. We
container.
need them to be able to get to. But
Submarine.
it's like,
That's
Well, Brad was
exactly.
saying before. Anyway, no.
No one can get in. So
Go on.
We were talking about the situation in the city before.
Yeah.
And you were saying that the cops were saying it's quite bad at the moment because it's difficult. Drug supply into Perth is difficult,
Yep.
and so people are going through withdrawal.
Yep.
And so
violence,
that
isn't
could
it?
be a new job for the drug dealers around.
So it's cleaning it up. Good on you, Jess.
My thought process.
Shane, she told
always
anyway.
find the
Jess,
positive in
Jess
everything.
gave me the warning pre-show. Ross, behave yourself today.
yeah.
I sometimes shouldn't say in what I'm thinking in my head.
Okay.
So
I'm just looking for
next
people's
week it'll be,
job
it won't be
levels.
Clive Palmer trying to get in, it'll be Pablo Escobar. We're getting-
Anyway, moving on. The real press. We're going to move on
Okay,
past
good.
that.
Good.
Into the real press, we've got a couple of articles this week. The first is from the Fin Review. East Coast apartments slump as WA rises again, which is basically what we have just been talking about.
Yeah. Look, I when I saw this article the other day, Jess, that's why I jumped all over it because number one, how long is it since we've seen a title like that? You know, East Coast apartment slump, WA rises again. It's like we need to frame that.
Unless it was West Coast. It's only West Coast that says that about. Not,
Yeah, exactly. West Coast, not WA.
Not property real estate.
But you look at these things, and it is very encouraging. And I think it's good to have a national perspective. You look at Melbourne and Sydney and so forth, they're looking at a contraction of 19% over there at the moment, which is really, really quite a big number.
quickly too.
Yeah, very, very quickly. When you look at the detached home market in WA is looking to jump 23.7%, which is 13,320 this year. So that detached home market obviously also goes into the small lot type thing and so forth. So you look at that, it's the pent up demand is huge, and then you back that into the other article which was in the Fin View, which goes on to what Shane was talking about the other week in relation to the land and the subsidies that were going on. It's Nigel Sattlery in here is quoted as saying there's a lot of the building companies have actually maxed out their quotas and have stopped taking any orders because they can't. The top 10 have capped their monthly sales. They can't.
I know a couple of great operators, and they've been told, look, you're selling in essence too many homes, which is probably good in a way because you've got to be able to deliver the product. It's all good taking orders, but if you can't deliver it.
We actually have a very good operator coming on next week to talk to us about that.
Yeah.
So.
Just on that, but we're talking about that grant. If you speak to, again, those top operators, not so much the new guys coming in the industry because they're happy just to get on board, but they actually said the first grant they brought in, which was the 20 or the 25, was enough. They sort of felt like it could have been sustainable, but that extra grant almost put fuel on the fire. So I thought that was really interesting saying, because they're the ones benefiting. But that shows that we weren't that far from being a bit healthier market. We just needed that big push. So hopefully if depending on things going WA, if they can get even a $7,000 grant on established, that'd be just amazing.
Well, you look at this, which is naturally, organically happening here at the moment. Plus, you look at what's going on with the interest from people that were saying before from eastern states to move across here.
Plus iron ore prices that we were talking about the other day.
Iron ore, we spoke about that on the phone the other day, Jess. Iron ore's yesterday hit at 129 US a tonne. Now, put that in perspective for a lot of people. 3 months ago, it was back at $80 odd a tonne. 12 months ago, it was back at $60 a tonne. Now, for Western Australia, this is really significant. Considering production, the production costs through the downturn, they got them from about $60, $65 a tonne production down to $20 a tonne.
Very lean.
So the profitability of these iron ore companies is just off the charts. I was saying before, the amount of emails we've received this week from people in the eastern states just searching for rental properties to come in. The mining companies are desperate for people. I mean, it's this perfect, once again, a perfect storm in a good way, just building up to really, I think, if you look at a slingshot to launch WA, I'm confident with everything that's going on. As Shane was saying, this could well be the best market in Australia in a very short period of time.
I can feel your excitement, Ross.
Oh, mate, we've put up with how many years of
feel it.
WA.
Honestly, we're back to, give or take, potentially in some areas, 14 years.
Yeah.
So imagine, and that's what I say to young buyers, like you've had mum and dad investors who have done the right thing, not gone on the cruises or less travelling, bought a property, had a property worth less 14 years later, and you've got a free kick. You can get into the market, but don't let it miss out again because you potentially would.
Let me just sum it up like this, right? So 2 years ago, Apple became the first $1 trillion company.
Yeah, two
right?
now.
2 years ago. So it took them 14 years on the stock market to hit $1 trillion. It's taken them 2 years to hit $2 trillion, which happened the other day. So what I'm saying is it's taken a long time for WA to build up some momentum. It's taken all these years, like 14 years and all these things to get there. Now that gap could close very quick. And I'm going for mayor. I'm officially launching. That's it. Basil, out of the way, mate. I'm doing it. I'm going there. Vote 1, Roscoe mayor.
On that note, we're going to bring on our guest for our good highlight.
Brad Triplett.
Brad Triplett, I can see you just gagging to come on. Come down. Come on
Brad.
down.
Sitting there by myself.
I know.
Mates.
Now, Brad Triplett, Arena Real Estate, welcome.
Thank you.
We've spoken about you on this show more times than we've spoken about Shane. So finally, it's good to have you here. Inner city specialist. We're obviously here in the middle of the city, so we thought, who better to have a chat to? Tell us what's going on. We've just talked about your market. Tell us.
I think we've done your job, mate.
Yeah, well, just going back to what you said about the last 5 or 6 years, the city market really has been. We call it the ground zero of the downturn. Josh and I quite often joke we're the fire brigade running into buildings trying to save people from their apartments because that's what it's been like. The amount of negative conversations we've had over the last 5 or 6 years. I've only really known a bad market. Got in 2013 when it was good. Followed Josh around for a little bit, but 14 onwards it was doing this. So to finally see a little bit of action around the city, and obviously prices aren't amazing for sellers, but from a buying perspective, first home buyers are really fueling our market at the moment. I reckon they're probably making up 85%. So for them to be able to afford to come in and buy something in this location, 5 or 6 years ago you couldn't do that. So
tell me about the type of stock that you have, would generally deal with. Is it very small apartments? What are you selling?
Yeah, we sort of go from anything from these sky rises here at Vue to little boutique complexes, but the best performing part of the market's that sort of 250 to 500 range, which is where those first home buyers are positioning themselves. The terrace road properties, the $1 million plus stuff. Obviously, it's still a little bit slower, and the market's quite small for that at the moment. But that mid-range stuff, that's obviously quite affordable, and that's moving really well.
So, Brad, Brad, with the first home buyers, obviously those that are buying because of the grants, they have to be owner-occupiers, don't they?
Yes, there is a bit of a misconception with these grants, that these new grants that have come in place.
Yeah.
We don't really get the full bulk of that for our buying market. You get obviously get the $10,000 grant if it's new. Our established market here is you're not getting anything. So I think there is a bit of a misconception out there that no, you're not going to get that if you're buying a apartment.
It happens a bit, that. The problem is, I think, with that, and I think you'd agree, if you buy a brand new property today, you can obviously get the 10,000, and before that was a real big bonus because you had nothing else. But the people that have been most penalised through the current situation is the person that bought a year-old property. Like, especially now with this stamp duty relief, like at 75%, why would you buy one when one of them's got 75% stamp duty relief potentially? It makes it pretty hard. And those conversations, knowing that you're walking into a listing that they paid $750 and you're walking in saying $550, and it's undeniable, the data.
The established owners have been hit hard already, and these new grants have probably put more pressure on them. So, and we did see it when those grants came in. We saw a shift from buyers looking that were really close to buying. All of a sudden, their attention was there, and all of a sudden, our established owners are left with less choice.
And are those, a lot of those first home buyers, are they from an owner occupied through to invested thing, or are they? What's the split there, Brad? For the first time owners.
Investors. I don't know if there's any out there.
The young people buying, are they all looking to live there, or are they looking to buy and rent?
They've got actually quite a smart mentality. Most first-time buyers, they want to move in initially, but their future plan is to buy something that they can then rent out easily.
First investment property.
Which I think is a good mindset. But initially, it's move in.
Okay.
I think it's also good when you're dealing with those first home buyers. You can actually, hand on heart, when you're selling a property, believe they're buying at the right time and they're buying a good first investment. Whereas sometimes you get properties like probably years ago, not so much now, then it's pretty good buying, but you can actually say, look, you're better off with this because you'd be paying $400 a week rent and you're probably paying $330 a week to be in your own home. And
I think what's happened with the rental market tightening up is first home buyers have had to actually at least look at buying when before they wouldn't, and they're going, actually, if I can get a little deposit together, my repayments will be less. So that attention shift has seen people actually realise, I can actually afford to buy.
Because I guess mum and dad never kicked them out, typically never kicked them out. And then the next step is the rents kept going down. So it wasn't like they had that wake-up call, but I say that to a few people, it's almost like the slap that going, okay, hang on, I should really think about this now. It's taken some time. But.
Can I ask, what's the general, this might be a huge generalisation, but your kind of age group of a first home buyer at the moment? Is it, what kind of is the average age of a first home buyer?
Well, it's funny, the city market used to be a heavily investor-dominated market, and obviously through the downturn, it's shifted. A lot of the investors are cutting their losses, the ones that can, and obviously with prices being much more affordable now, the younger professional people, sort of anywhere from 21 up to 35, that younger professional demographic, they're the ones that have really come into the city and changed that demographic quite significantly.
Has it helped that the city has kind of revitalised itself in the last 10 years?
Because it used to be you've worked in the city, but now
now there's so much to do.
And leave the city.
I think apartment living in general has become more popular. And I think the City of Perth have done a great job the last couple of years. And obviously even the East Perth area we're in now, they're going through a 3-year transformation phase. Obviously Optus Stadium was part of that, the bridge. So I think the city is just a cooler place to live. We're sort of catching up to places like Melbourne and Sydney.
Brad, what interests me, you've seen the young couples, professional people buying in the city, and obviously they work in the city, so that's the thing. You're seeing them sort of now saying, look, we don't need to own a car, and you seen any of that sort of trend?
I think every year that goes on, life seems to get a little bit busier as well. So people are going, well, do I want the house with the backyard? Do I need the car? I'm at the office till 7 or 8 p.m. Why don't I just move closer to where I'm working and stroll home? So I think life's busier for a lot of people now. So people are realising, in my time off, I don't want to be travelling to and from work. I want to be either having dinner, or maybe going on a holiday when I can. So I think it's a time thing.
That's why I think it's so important for a developer that they actually look at what's around the development. I think sometimes, probably years gone by, they've just gone, doesn't work on a spreadsheet. as opposed to who our likely clientele, who's going to buy this, what's their age demographic, what are they going to want. And I think that's when they slapped buildings up really quickly a few years back. They probably got guilty of just sweating the site because it was R40, and we've seen that through Belmont, maybe Rivervale, those sort of areas, Cloverdale, where they've just gone, what's the most we can put on it? And it might not be what suited the area.
Yeah, and I think now buyers have got more choice. There's more choice in terms of the number of apartments available. So developers have had to get more creative with what they're actually putting in their complexes.
And investors would have to think about that when they're buying as well, not just the people that are
But they haven't been there.
owner
Like you said,
occupiers.
just the investors aren't there. But I think, like you said, Brad, the buyers going, well, this isn't my forever home. I've got a family, but would I be able to rent it or would I be able to sell it? Which is two things. And when I listen to 882, because I'm an old fuddy-duddy, they speak to one of the financial advisors there. And quite often he'll say to his clients, if you had your time over, would you buy it? And I think it's a really good question when you're talking about trying to quit a property. Would you do it again? And if you can say yes, well, it's obviously turned out to be a good investment. Unfortunately, again, some properties in the last few years, again, I think that's a really good example where there's too much of the same thing, no competition. Like you wouldn't go and auction a certain property unless it was the bank doing it, because they're just like, well, I'll just go that one.
Yeah.
You know,
There's no unique selling point.
Beautiful. All right, guys, thank you very much. Great combo.
Was that intelligent?
It
Did I
was.
behave myself?
I was impressed, yes. Very impressed. Over to you. I'm so impressed that I'm giving you the host.
You give me the reins.
I'm giving you the reins. It's Under the Hood with Roscoe.
So Brad, we ask a lot of questions.
This is where I get worried.
Okay, about people, just to learn a bit more about them. But one of the questions is our biggest stuff up. But Brad, I'm just going to go off piece here for a moment. Because it did.
I didn't give you permission to do that.
It came out on social media the other week that you were nominated as one of the sexiest real estate agents in Australia. But Brad, we know going beyond that it wasn't that long ago when The Bachelor was scouting you to get onto The Bachelor. And I believe even last week there was another text came through, someone scouting you to be on one of the dating shows. So mate, this is quite a privileged thing. Shane and I, we're privileged to be in the presence of
That's right.
the sexiest real estate agent in Australia. I'm going to cop it later. So Brad, outside of all that, we say what's the biggest stuff up? Is the biggest stuff up the fact you said yes or no?
Well, I'm just going to leave it there. I think the biggest stuff up for me, I was thinking about this before I came here, maybe growing up in Mandurah. To put it seriously though, you're from Mandurah.
Pilsy's from Mandurah.
And he doesn't have a licence.
He's only 16.
That's right. I was about to say it's only because
Sorry, Brad.
not legally.
Thanks for the plug, Roscoe. I'm actually referring everything to my PR manager, Lachlan Sinclair now. So questions to him, mate.
Okay. Lucky if you can let my PR company know, that'd be good.
Biggest stuff up. I actually thought about this in terms of real estate. My first year in real estate, I was sort of shadowing Josh around. I was his right-hand man for a while there, and he let me open one of his. He didn't get many listings on Terrace Road, $1 million stuff, but he let me open it one day, and the owners were living there. And he called me later that day and said, "Mate, did you forget to close the door of that apartment?" And I didn't just not lock the door. I left the door open with the door stopper in to this $1.2 million property, and must have obviously just left. And unfortunately, Josh, I can laugh about it now because I think I've paid him back a little bit, but he actually lost the listing because of that. So that, I would say, is probably my biggest stuff up. Sorry, Jay.
Didn't happen again.
I'd make sure I lock all the doors now. So a bit of a learning curve.
Cool. Okay. Well, mate, that's how we learn. Mate, next question is I love this question because it's to see the personality of people. 3 things you would not leave home without.
It's giving this some thought as well. I'd actually, if Mum's watching, my ring that Mum gave me for my 18th birthday, white gold ring, she gave all us boys one of these, and I'm the only one that wears theirs. So I actually do not leave anywhere without that. Even when I take it off to train and things, I'm always searching for it. So there's that.
Last week we had a rock.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, it's similar.
Not
similar,
Shane Penny had a rock.
Yeah.
You got a ring. Excellent, mate.
I think the insurance bill on that one is slightly higher than Shane's rock.
Yeah.
It's more insurable.
My watch, I actually don't wear my watch to tell the time, but I just like the feel of it, so I go over here with that.
What sort of watch you got, mate? Is it a good one?
It's a tag, actually. That one's
Tag?
nice. Yeah.
Tag, nice.
Got that for myself when I turned 30. That was my 30th birthday present for myself.
That's nice.
And what's the other one? My sports bag. I'm a bit spontaneous with my workouts. If I get 30 minutes there, I'll just jump into the gym and jump on the treadmill or something. So
Cool.
Well done for having 3 that we haven't heard before.
Yeah,
Like
that was good. That was
Like
good.
that.
I was going to say phone, sunglasses,
No,
wallet, but
no, that's very good, mate. So, mate, I know you don't have any bad habits. Yeah, I've known you for a long time. But if you did in the deep, dark depths of Brad Triplett, what's your worst habit,
It's
mate?
an easy one, this one. I don't know anyone's birthdays. Even my mum and dad's. I know the month, but I just forget the date.
That's what Facebook's
I don't think many people do. I think when they get the alert on
Isn't
Facebook.
it? If someone's not on Facebook, I don't wish them happy birthday. Sorry.
It's,
know.
it's not
Yeah,
something
true.
I'm proud of, but it's that's the truth.
That's okay. That's okay.
So we can ask us the truth.
Mate, when you're not at work, you know, and you do work long hours, but when you are not at work, where would we find you?
If it's the I guess some thought as well. If it's the morning, it's probably something to do with coffee, because I love coffee.
Yeah.
If it's the evening, it'll be something to do with Chardonnay, because I love Chardonnay.
Oh,
so
that's
probably somewhere there.
Wine drinker.
Yeah.
Cool.
Coffee or shardy. Easy. Okay.
Good combo.
Yeah, it is actually. You like shardy, don't you, mate?
I do.
Most of you say, mate, of all the sayings, what's something that you just go, oh, cringeworthy saying?
My auctioneer just keeps saying this every single.
Your auctioneer, he must be damn good.
Yeah. Speak now or forever hold your peace. It's like, get something new, but when I do say that, it generally means we're close to hammer time, so I'll let it slide.
See? Speak now, forever hold your peace. It's hammer time.
I don't reckon I'd use that one at home. I don't know it'd go well.
No. Speak now, forever hold your peace. You'll
Pardon?
Yeah, exactly. You'll get peace, mate. And mate, this next question is for the benefit of Shane and myself, and for Jess, but we steered her up a dead end road the other day, mate. Best place to go and get a meal, favourite place, favourite meal, favourite dish, whatever.
I'm going to keep it local like everyone has been, because I think that's important. I'm pretty simple, actually. I love Italian and Bistro Bella Vista, which I've been to with you,
Yeah.
Roscoe, on Plain Street, where your car's parked.
Hope.
Yeah. They do amazing Italian food.
Dine in?
Dine in, yep.
Yeah.
Really nice people, Italians obviously, but yeah, I would say have a crack there.
And
What
the
about-
dish? What the dish?
Anything there, pizza, pasta, anything.
Have they got cutlets? If they got cutlets, Shane will be there now.
I had a cutlet.
size
For
of
you.
that one.
I had
Yeah.
a cutlet for you the other day. It was very good.
Where?
At Post. In the city.
Their pork
It was
cutlet
good. Yeah.
on the bone.
Yep.
Rocks.
I should have said a cutlet page.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, let's do it.
Cutlets of
Well, there's
Perth.
a Parmigiano one, but
Yeah, no, let's do a cutlets page. Yeah.
Best coffee in
best
Perth.
coffee, yeah, best coffee.
Best coffee in Perth. There's a few. Duotone on Hay Street, just around the corner from here. And I'd have to say our local Flow Espresso, which is, that's on Aberdeen Street.
Okay.
And best Chardonnay.
Nice.
Best Chardonnay, that's at Voyager Estate down south. So
Yeah. But that
so they
city.
probably sell it around here.
Yeah, Ed Void drinking Chardonnay there. Yeah.
Beautiful. There you go.
Were we okay? Is
Yeah.
that okay? We'll
It
not
was
get in
good.
trouble after?
No,
Okay, good.
Okay.
it's all right. We don't have the sound machine here today, so you're lucky.
Yeah,
You're getting
Alana-
your
We're
fly.
Alana's
talking about Alana. We're talking
Alana's
about the
got-
best
Oh, we're
chef to
talking-
go.
Yeah, it's one of the same.
Yeah,
Yeah,
machine.
yeah.
It's in my car actually. I should have bought it.
Yeah.
That's just about a wrap up.
Yeah.
Do you have a play of the week for our
think-
final
I
segment?
think we have, haven't we, mate?
We do.
We do have a very big play to it.
A friend of ours got married,
Yeah.
and for the first time ever, he's very, very quiet.
Yeah.
Very quiet.
It is. Indeed, the Mercurial, Mr. Sean Hughes.
Yes.
Friend of the show.
So
Friend of
he's-
the show.
And now he's wandering out yonder.
Yeah.
No one knows where. Keeping the press
he's
away.
gone AWOL. Press has gone to looking
No
for
one
him.
knows.
Paparazzi are going up and down the coast. Where is
He's
Sean?
been leaving a post
Yeah, yeah.
2 days after he leaves the venue.
Yeah.
Smart.
Very
So-
smart.
I
So
like
smart.
that.
So on Monday, he walked down the aisle.
He did.
And tell me, you both were attending the
Waddled.
wedding. Who
Waddled.
Waddled, yes.
Who? You can't say someone waddled down the
He
aisle.
waddled.
Like they're
He was
on
very
He's got a
nervous.
bit-
He was very
Some
nervous.
say swagger, some's got waddle.
Yeah.
Mate. Who got the play of the day at the wedding?
Well, I've got to say, old mate here, he got play of the day. I think it's fair to say that Mr. Beaumont, you
Shane seemed stressed.
you enjoyed every element, every ounce, every bit of food, every bit of alcohol that was There, you were the chief sampler of the day.
It was the first time, Sean.
Here we go.
First time a drink's been on Sean since I've known him.
Yeah.
And I lived with him.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So, no, it was
Capitalised.
a great day. It was a wonderful, beautiful wedding, and it's great to see a great person marry such a beautiful lady.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I'm glad you've both recovered by now.
Yeah, Tuesday it was dusty, but anyway, we're here today.
That's it. Episode number 13 in the can. We've done it.
We have.
We've overcome our unlucky number 13.
Is there a level 13 in this building? Because you know,
We'll have to
casinos
check
in Las
on the way
Vegas, there's no
down.
level
There's
13.
no 13, no. Yeah.
There you go. I learnt the other day that in China they do not have a level 4.
Number 4.
Because number 4 sounds like death.
Interesting,
in
the other
Chinese
day,
or
I was
Mandarin or
negotiating
whatever.
with an offer, and they went in at 103,888.
Yeah.
Owner come back at 18888. He's like, if you like it that much, come for another one in there. So that was quite
There you
funny.
go. There you go.
Chris
Didn't go through.
wind up.
Yep. I know, we're winding. Thank you again to the team at Finbar and Real Estate 88 for having us at Vue Tower. Beautiful location. Thanks, Brad, for your time.
Thanks for coming in, Brad.
Coming and joining us on the couch. Any topics or anything you want to share with us, please hit us up on the Facebook page. And
results.
Results. And that's it.
Yeah.
We'll see you for
Done.
episode 14.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.